All right, here we are, 2024, December 14th. I got a YouTube channel. What do I do with this? I got to create a brand. I got to brand this thing. I got not to worry about myself. I got to worry more about you. This is going to be tough because the toughest part about creating a YouTube channel is the content that I want to bring to it. Well, maybe not the content, but the approach for the content. My appearance is just somebody who's just like laying over here, just don't care, homie of the year. But I think it's just more so there's so much going on in my head that I'm just like, I can't hold it up straight anymore. Plus, I thought I'd look better if I was just like, looking over here at you guys instead of just dancing around trying to figure out a good, comfortable position because I keep looking at myself. I remember there was one time, this is a better way to do it, where I actually just kept my hand or something over the camera so I wouldn't be staring at myself. This was the best method for me, actually. Okay. So what we're going to do today is we're going to focus on how much money could be made. But why? Well, the reality is a lot of us grow up spending our time just going to work and knowing that, get work, earn money, get paid money, save money. Maybe you might hear invest money, now that we got Bitcoin and crypto and stuff like that. You got people that want to invest and get involved and understand it better. And now that you can buy fractions, people are getting more into it. You don't need brokers, you can buy at your own risk. You don't got to pay the crazy fees and whatnot. And you don't got to worry about people taking advantage of you and your money. So you're in a very lucrative position as is. Like, you're in such a lucrative position that there's no reason that you should be broke. There's no reason. Like, the only reason people are broke for the most part is their money's going to the wrong place. Think of it this way. When it comes to money, if you want to have a lot of it accumulate, you can't put it inside of a bucket with holes in it. So every time you spend money, you're poking a hole in the bucket. And you're trying to fill up this bucket with water, but you keep poking holes in it. And the water just keeps escaping no matter what you do and no matter how much water, and in this case, money. So the first thing you got to do is learn how to patch up those holes and seal it all off and, just close it up, essentially. Like, get your focus more so on your accomplishments than on the income that you may receive on a weekly, monthly basis. Like, I found it rather interesting that I spent years, let's just say 1 or 2, and within those 1 or 2 years, because it's really all it takes, about 104 weeks, not even, maybe just 100 weeks, and you can accomplish a lot. I mean, I can smack myself silly 100 times every time I think of a move I should have made that I missed. There's so many opportunities all over the place that you'd have to smack yourself for getting upset over an opportunity missed, because that's just another opportunity missed in a sense. Like, you have to continuously realize that every moment, in each moment, there's opportunities. You just, the further you broaden your horizons, the more you will see. Some people will sit in a hole and wonder why it's dark. Until you climb out of that hole, you won't see the sun. And then when you see the sun, you start to realize, well, where is it coming from? And then by the time you get to the water and you're like, holy moly. Or when you get to that piece of land or the mountaintop and you start to realize, wow, I thought I could see everything, and imagine just flying outer space or flying airplanes and thinking, I thought I saw it all. Then people are like, oh, I'm scared of skydiving. That's your only opportunity to see how small you truly are. Jump out of that plane and get a near-death experience that'll make you realize how grateful you should be for your life. I've had near-death experiments. Experiences that that I'll say that, you know, like for the most part I got upset over. You know, I was taken back by, afraid, scared. You know, I had all the emotions that, you know, made me realize how precious life is. You know, even though I kind of thought I knew, but I would honestly say, like, I don't think people really can grasp how important life is until it's almost taken away from them. You know, even when you lose somebody that you love, you still don't tend to realize how much value is in your own life. You know, and I say that to say that for the most part, people are just, they're like bobbers. You ever go fishing and you put that little bobber on it and it's red and white and you could see it on top of the water, and the fish aren't supposed to be able to see it from in the water, but that's BS, because as soon as they take a bite of it, the worm or whatever, they see the thing moving and they're like, oh, yep, that's a hook. Let's just get what we can get without getting hooked. And one gets hooked or whatever, and if it doesn't, what happens? If they just eat the food, then that bobber just sits there in the water and it just floats along, or it just stays in the same place and it doesn't do anything. And you could sit outside watching it do nothing and just hoping that something will happen, knowing, if you're smart, there's probably nothing on the hook anymore. And I feel like a lot of people are kind of just failing to realize that they're in that situation where they're just that, there's no bait on their hook anymore, and nobody's biting, and nobody wants what you got to offer, and you gotta start over. You gotta pull that back in, and you gotta reel it back in into realistic, you know, you gotta reel it back in, look at it, be like, oh man, ain't nothing on the hook anymore. I ain't offering nothing. No wonder why I ain't getting any results, you know. And a lot of people don't want to do that. They don't want to, like, realize that, you know, make the connection, you know, like what's the gap, you know, like you're trying to accomplish something but it's not happening. Why? It's you. You know what I mean? Like, people are dreaming of beautiful lives, and what's stopping them? It's usually themselves, you know. And circumstances aren't irrelevant unless you're not in control of them. You know, when people say, oh, you know, it rained today, so I couldn't do anything, it was raining. And I think to myself, like, you didn't prepare for rain? You didn't prepare for all situations? Or even in that situation of rain, you wasn't preparing? You wasn't getting things done? There were still things to do, even outside of whatever you might have been canceled. Say you had a outside job cutting grass or something. You're not going to cut grass in the rain, right? Well, during that time that it's raining, you should be organizing everything that you can possibly organize, because when the sun's shining, you got to be out there, and if you're pushing a lawnmower, you're pushing that lawnmower. But when it's raining, you should be going over all your clients' work. You should go over all your list of things. You should be cleaning all your tools. You know, you should be organizing the office. You should be talking to all your team. You know, you should be planning on the next move. You know, people kind of just, people live in this, you know, on an island, really, you know, where they think about themselves so much that they don't actually think about themselves at all. And it's so weird. I don't know how to put that into words, like, and I need your help. But they literally just sit there thinking about themselves so much, and maybe what other people think of them. So maybe they're not even thinking about themselves. They can't be thinking about themselves, because in my opinion, if you're truly thinking about yourself and what you truly want for yourself, then that's what you should be focused on, yourself. You know, and people tend to say things like, oh, I don't have any time for this, that. You have the same amount of time as everybody else. We all got the same amount of time, man. Take advantage of the same amount of time that you got, and don't make excuses. Excuses are always going to keep you where you're at. That was fun.